to you from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Power Talk. It's a pleasure being with you. My name is Aguko. It's a fine Thursday evening. I hope that your day has been well. Okay, from wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much for tuning in. We are coming to you live from the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation here in Nairobi, Kenya. And of course, this show also, a repeat of it, airs again every Friday at noon. Head over to our YouTube channel where you'll be able to get a recording of all our programs. And of course, Power Talk is glad to be back on this happy new year. Because it's the first show, happy new year. I know we are on the 12th of January. I don't know if you've stopped saying Happy New Year to people, but Happy New Year to you. I missed you guys. It's a pleasure to be with you on this first show of the year. And to kickstart this show this year, today we want to talk about matters concerning family and relationships, matters concerning you, as we talk about how well do you know your partner, how well you know your partner. And that's something that we need to think about. Do you believe that you know him or her well? Even though you're dating or in a relationship planning to get married or married, how well do you know your partner? Some people say that you never fully know your partner, that knowing people is a process. That even if you're married for 20 years, you're still getting to know them. But how well do you know them? Okay, let's talk about this today on Power Talk. To help me in this conversation, to my far right, I'm with Christian Matthews. He's a marriage and family counselor. Next to him is Regina Manyara. You've seen her, you know her. She is a media personality. Karibuni sana. Welcome. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure having you. It's been a while since I saw you, my brother. I know we're meeting again after a long time. Yeah. Welcome to the show, and Reggie. First time interviewing you.
Making the news.
I don't know if it feels different being on the other end of the...
Yes, when you're on the hot seat, so to speak, it's quite different than when you're the one actually posing the questions. Yes.
And of course, I welcome your feedback from home. Be part of this discussion, okay? Head over to our Facebook page, and of course, our Facebook page is Y254. We've made a post on this particular show. Head over there, ensure that you like the page. That's at Y254. Drop in your comments on the comment section below. How well do you know your partner? And we shall sample your feedback a bit later on during this evening discussion. As we start on this conversation, I want to start with you, Christian. And let me get your point of concern in this matter. Now, I mentioned earlier that in relationships, people say, especially in marriage, that you can never fully know someone. People want to date for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, some even 5 years. And if you ask them, what is the reason as to why you're dating this person for this period, they say, I'm trying to get to know them. Okay? Now, at what point should someone say that I fully know my partner and they are satisfied with it so that they can get married to each other?
Thank you, Ram. It depends on what you are looking for. Knowing your partner is difficult to say you can, at any point in time, know your partner fully, but progressively. It is progressive. You keep learning about that person. If you know this aspect of him or her, by the time you got kids, you are going to learn something new about him or her. By the time you have become grandparents, you now begin to know something new about your partner.
But you're still your grandparents.
Of course, by the time, if you are a man, by the time she abandons you to go and take care of the grandchildren, then you are getting to know better about her. So, but there are some basic things you should know about each other.
Okay.
The past, medical, criminal, and mental health of that particular person you want to know. Then you want to know things about is normal behavior and personality. Just we are talking about personality today. You want to know about the personality of that person and his values, because his values will guide his goals in life. Those are the things you want to know. And it's progressive. You can. Those are basic. You want to. Once you are done with that, you are good to go. Go and start learning each other. As we are in the relationship, you learn on the job.
Okay. And Reggie, let me come to you. Do you believe that someone's past is important? When you meet them, that you must ask them questions about their past in order for you to know them better?
In my regard and in my view, and I'm going to speak as Regina here. It's been directed to Regina.
Yeah,
I'm not a marriage counselor.
Yeah.
It's just that we are all trying to survive this life. Yeah, we're trying to survive this life.
Yeah.
I believe that a person's past should be made open to a partner, especially if you want to walk this journey called a relationship together. So it's good to ask, not to the letter or to the detail, but I'd want to know around, do you have children out there? As you said, the basics. Do you have a criminal record? Do you, what is your relationship with your parents? Such issues, because if these are the issues that are likely to come up in the course of getting to learn each other, because we've already agreed in this particular platform that it can take a lifetime to know the person you're with. So the past is actually very important, not for just the present, but also to determine the future.
To determine the future.
Yes.
Yet, the aspect of privacy is boggling my mind. Privacy, secrecy. You know, there are those things that you wouldn't fully want someone to know. Maybe because you're not comfortable disclosing such information. And I know you who are watching me today, you've been to that point where you've said in your mind that I don't think I want to tell my partner this. Maybe until this particular period of time, or maybe never. Or maybe never. Is that an okay thing to do, Christian?
Well, while Regina spoke, she spoke for herself. I think I will talk now as Christian.
Yes.
If you have ever hidden anything from me, and we're in a relationship, I, Christian, would doubt the paternity of my children. Because you have done it before. You have hidden something.
Okay.
The Bible says that the two of them were naked and they were not ashamed. You have to study whom you are dealing with, if that person is okay, yes, unconditional acceptance of each other.
But there are those things that you may not be comfortable because you've just met this person. You're just getting to know them. One, how many kids you have, and maybe you may want them to get to know you first before they get to know your children. I don't know. Is that something to consider? It's not.
No, you get deeper in relationship. It's progressive, like I mentioned the other time. You can't just start telling everybody, hey, that person will run away.
Exactly.
But by the time you have known his intention, I've always asked my client, find out. Let us define our relationship. Once that person has established relationship with you, you're going to tell him, because it's like you are doing transaction. Then can two work together except they agree? So it's like, if he's not ready to accept my kids, then it's not meant for me. It's not my person. I'm not supposed to hide such things from him or her.
Zero is nodding. You agree with it?
I agree with Christian, because I tend to believe when it comes to disclosure, getting to know your partner, there's the inverted pyramid of disclosure. You start from the basic. What's your name? What do you do? Where do I work? And it grows over time, driven by a certain intention, whether mutual or not mutual.
Okay.
So it is important to have these conversations as you go, dependent on where you're going. But then the question comes in, and I've heard you bring it up, the aspects of our lives that we do not want to share with our partners because we solely believe that they're going to change their mindset about exactly who they may not, they will disassociate. But I want to side with Christian on this, and on a personal level. If at one point in this journey of this relationship, I find out that the person who have been dealing with kept a very dark secret from me, it will like throw shade to everything that we have done. Why? Because when you're moving into a relationship, you're supposed to, first of all, you're in your right mind, you're in your right senses, you want to be here, you are intentional about being with this person, and then if they break your trust, then there's no relationship.
Yeah.
So privacy doesn't
I don't think it's about privacy. It's not about privacy. It's about how honest and how pure you are in this relationship. But unfortunately, there's also the other downside. And how much should I share? And when you share these intimate details about yourself with someone you truly trust, they turn around and weaponize.
Have you been in that position?
This is indeed a hot seat.
Have you been in that position?
This is a very hot
I
seat.
can see you are adjusting yourself.
Yes, I'm just adjusting. Yeah.
It must be hot.
It's a very hot seat. Well, I have been there. And this is a challenge that I'm going through as we speak, because this is a person who I trusted to be open enough with my intimate details, my fears, my dreams, my nightmares, everything.
Wait.
Yes.
You're using, I'm very observant with words. She has used I trusted.
Yes.
Yes.
Past tense.
Yes.
It means you're no longer together.
Yes. We're not talking about something that is today, tomorrow. It's actually, we're talking about a year now, because currently, I'm a divorcee. And after that relationship ended, I decided maybe I can actually start dating again. Unfortunately, the person was not honest about who they were. They introduced themselves as someone different, and to make matters worse, they also used members of their family to actually perpetrate this lie.
Wow.
Perpetrated this lie to a point that I came to learn when the inconsistencies started happening. Regina could not go for coffee without saying that they're going for coffee. Regina could not go out for lunch without actually saying they're going out for lunch. With whom? Why? For how long? Every aspect of me was being questioned, and I kept on arguing it out. I'm like, I'm a grown-up, I'm responsible, I am mature, I can make my own decisions. Before you came along, I had a life and I lived it. But now, if I speak, it's a problem. If I question how you're treating me, it's a problem. And even my association, and those were the red flags I started seeing. So where I trusted, there was an aspect of this something that is not adding up. When you find that someone is so insecure, when you ask them these questions, they get so angry that you're asking questions to a point that you're fighting over wanting to know the truth.
But then, Reggie, I'm trying to get this angle here. There must be a difference between the conversation, the mindset, and the attitude of a single person with that of one who is taken or dating or with someone. When someone asks you, where are you? What are you doing there? Who are you with? When will you be back home? For how long? Aren't those questions that people who are dating...
That points heavily on matters of transparency and accountability. And that is fine in a relationship.
Okay.
However, when someone asks you a question in a condescending manner, they have already drawn a conclusion that you are not where you're saying you are, that you're not with the person you're saying you're with, and to a point that they even come up with stories and they say, oh, instead of where you were at with person X doing X. So, and unfortunately, it's like they want to create this lie, or rather this reality that you are not. And that thing actually takes a toll on someone's mental state. You argue, then also you start doubting yourself. Because if I am in studio today with Ram and Christian, and I've said it and I'm open about it, but someone argues I was elsewhere with so and so, it kind of challenges your own reality.
There's a problem of trust there.
There's a problem of trust. And on top of that, on top of even matters of trust, there's that aspect that you need to be, is it shepherded? I don't know if it's shepherded. I don't know if I'm using the right word.
Guided or led?
Yes, it's shepherded, and for me, it borders on disrespect.
Okay.
Because I believe, as Regina, as Ram, as Christian, we are all adults. We are intentional about where we are, as you said. We are intentional. So someone shouldn't take it upon themselves to lord or shepherd over your actions. It means that they do not trust you. Or it means they themselves are guilty of what they are accusing you of.
Christian,
and I need to be corrected here because I'm not a guide. I'm not a trained counselor. I'm just someone trying to survive this Nairobi.
I am glad we have one here. Christian, I want you to give your comments on in regards to this.
I will. I will. You see, I like this illustration. If it had never happened, but I like using it. If I came out of the car and I had some bushmeat with me, and I gave my wife started cooking, and she also came with vegetable and she cooked and we're eating. If she asked me, Christian, how did you get this? Where did you get this bushmeat? I would say, oh, I was just turning in and I saw it being sold and I bought it. And that's okay. If I should ask, maybe 5 minutes later, hey, this vegetable, where do you get it? Say, hey, it's not good. It's not good. Is it not good?
Okay.
Is it our because of our makeup, our personality? Regina, as a psychologist, you don't have any problem. He might have problem, but you are now thinking that it was totally correct. It was right. He might have some mental health issue, underlying mental health issue. Not about you, it's about him. That is now influencing the way. But now you now took him as normal. And it was just what I mean. Whereas it's not stalking you, it's just mental health problem he has.
The problem is with him.
It's with him, not with her. Yeah, no. But it's like she took him serious. That you are stalking me, you are following me around, you are doubting me. No. If you check through the background, the childhood, maybe he actually had toxic childhood experience. Maybe something had distorted his cognition and all that. So it is not about you.
It's about them.
It's about him, yes.
But then the question is, Christian, if it's about them, and we've said we have a pyramid of disclosure, at what point, because it starts from the basic all the way up to a great foundation, isn't it? At what point was I owed the truth? Because let me finish about this issue.
Okay.
So when I saw the red flags,
I
started digging. And I found out that they were not the person they said they were.
Okay.
They were not working where they said they were working.
Okay.
The person who was introduced to me as a mom turned out not to be the biological mom.
Yeah.
But someone who just took them in, and he had another family on the other side, in terms of he had his own family, mother, Yani, his other family. And it took the intervention of his own father to tell me, by the way, you seem like a good person, but my son is not a good person. And that made me question everything that I had seen. And I learned that this person was actually a criminal. He was a criminal. And that I have never been able to answer the question, did they target me because they saw me on TV?
You target me because yourself.
Yes, I started questioning
what
myself.
What was the intention?
And to make matters worse is that now through this relationship, there's this aspect of blackmail, because I found out who they were and I ceased to relate with them, because for me immediately trust is broken, it's done. To them, every complaint I ever raised was trivial. It was never that serious. Wow. And I walked off. And actually, the term that I use among my friends is that I survived that. But now, persistent calls to my colleagues, persistent calls to my parents, actually telling them that they have demands upon my life that if I do not talk to them, if I do not go see them, if I do not let them back essentially into my world, that they are going to go public with our relationship. And I was like, I have nothing to hide. I'm a grown up, but it takes a toll on your mental well-being because you're dealing with someone. I actually went through counseling.
Okay.
You're dealing with someone who is not right, as you've said, and I like that you've deduced that, you know. But Ram, these are issues that a majority of us are dealing with, but we are dealing with them silently because we are worried that we are going to be judged. We are worried that
someone may.
We are going to be excommunicated if it's a church.
Now you see,
Such.
I'm wondering, and Christian, you will help us with this conversation here.
Okay.
When are you owed right of information? Full information, non-disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Sorry. Full disclosure. Now, when you're looking at two people who are together, one person creates this lie, a world full of lies. Should you, and I'm looking at options here, on top of my question, should she help him through recovery?
No. I can answer that for you.
Or should she run away? When are you owed right of information? Full disclosure.
Well, an individual, if I go to correct it, you want to check the mental state of somebody you are dealing with before you divulge your information. And you want to see the consistency in him. You see, if we lower our eye effectively, we can see our nose. There are some signs.
You're making me try that. So I can actually see it.
Yes. So it's like there are road signs, red flags around.
Yes.
That you could see, but it's like you are over trusting, and you believe that that person is totally in sound health. I still maintain my point that you see we have what we call comorbidity. You can never tell what plunged him into criminality. It could be madness, some mental health issue that plunged him into criminality you mentioned. And if someone had been to a prison, you can never come back normal again. If you go through the history of that family, there should be some underlying mental issue or difficult childhood and all that, and the kind of people in the environment, the society that he works with. I mean, for somebody to have said that is another thing is when somebody who has mental health is speaking, he doesn't believe he's lying, because when he's telling lies, it's as good as truth. So it's a mental health disorder. And everybody will say, yes, it's okay, yes, it's okay.
And you see, that's why previously I asked, what if you're not willing to disclose some information? For example, this man is saying, you know what, I'm not willing to tell you that I was in prison. I'm not willing to disclose that this is a part of my life that affected me.
Well, Ram, I must be very honest with you.
Please be brutally honest.
We even in Christendom, we go ahead with some deception. If you want to get, the good thing in Kenya is you can have private detective to find out about an individual.
But you cannot do that for every relationship you want to get into.
If you want to go into a relationship and you are serious with it, you want to find out about that person. Because
are you saying we use PIs?
Are you saying we use PIs?
Well, it's like you want to be serious with somebody and you are this popular. You know, somebody can see you somewhere and can disguise and all that. You want to do some information about that person before you can go into the life of that person. Now, that guy that refused to disclose his past, he has an agenda. He has a goal. But in our own case, she did not know. She just trusted she trusted him, and family members also colluded. So it's like it made it very difficult for Regina to understand what was going on. But somehow the body language could be depicted. That's it. Things are not hard enough. But she was very busy with her job. And so when he was doubting you, because of some things he has had in him, he thought, or he may have thought, that you are equally reading script. You know, he was reading script in some case. So he could have suspected maybe you are reading script, and he might want to intimidate you so that he will not want you to find more about him by the time he's always complaining about you. But it's still mental issue.
Wow.
But
And
then how did he survive that?
yeah. And I want us to take a short break. And then we'll be back. And after this break, you will tell me, after how many months or weeks, you will tell me, should someone say that at this point in time I need full disclosure? After how long of being together, should you now say that there is nothing that must be kept between us? Because the truth is, Regina found out very early. But there are those people who are finding out things and they are already married. That's when you realize, oh, my husband has another wife with 2 children out there. Let's take a short break. And then we'll be back. This is Power Talk. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Power Talk. It's a pleasure being with you. So far, so good. Let me head over to Facebook and get to read what you guys are saying on our Facebook page. That is Y254. If you've not headed there, plug in, go to our Facebook page there, drop in your comments. You will see our post there, Y254 it is. And of course, we value your feedback. Let me see what, this is Albanus Wamatu. Following from Pipeline, Nairobi. Oh, Timothy Konazo hapa? Okay, sawa. This is bad culture. And we just try. That's why heartbreaks do exist. And that's why we just try. How well do you know your partner? We just try. That's why heartbreaks exist. Okay. Ras Bashir Were Wabusia. Thank you so much, my brother, for tuning in. You are a loyal viewer. I say I'm watching live out of 40 Jesus. Asante sana. Wakabaru Johnson anasema mtanganyifu. What do you mean? Ama unamaanisha partner wako ni mdanganyifu. Shem Ogongo locked in now. Konza hiyo jina nyingine sijui anasema Power Talk niko in from Konza, and let me tell you, sina partner bwana. Paul, okay, so you niseme Paul, I'm good for you, but enjoy your singlehood. I think people need to enjoy their singleness. Anasema hello there, najua anataka kuniekelea ati mimba si yako. Why? What's happening? Talk to me. Kwanza, what's happening? Ati najua anataka kunilekelea mimba ambayo si yangu. Mtu asikukelee kitu ambayo si yako. Tell us your story. We have a Christian here who can advise you on what to do. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. We continue this conversation. Thank you so much for keeping it Power Talk here. I'm with Regina and Christian. How well do you know your partner? Things are being revealed in this conversation. I love how hot it is here. If I was Jeff. Now, before we took that break, we were with you, Christian.
Yes.
And you were giving your thoughts in regards to this. And first things first, before we get deeper, at what point in a relationship should you have full disclosure?
When you are so sure that that person is equally in, you're on the same page, and after you must have done your investigations about him or her, and after you are convinced, and convinced, you have already understood where the friendship would lead you to, and you have studied the body language, and you know how serious that man is with you.
Okay.
And that nothing is hidden. If some people say good money, you have to quickly rush in and check your wristwatch, whether it is actually afternoon or money. Once you have confirmed that this person is honest, sincere, then you can sleep and close your two hearts with him or her.
Okay. And Reggie, your thoughts, because your fellow sisters are watching you and they're like, wow, Reggie, go girl, teach us your ways, sensei.
I can't even see. I'm just basically trying to survive. I don't think I can. I can actually. I'm a role model in this because I have made very poor decisions in the past.
Lessons have been learned.
Yes, that's the point. You take the lesson home.
Yes.
For me, when it comes to trust, because we're still living and life is for the living. I tend to think if someone opens up and actually shares their truth, you owe them your truth too.
Yes. Yes.
If they actually at that point where they're opening up and, it's not easy to actually lay yourself bare. So I tend to think the law of reciprocity should come in at that point. If a person is actually being honest with themselves to you, you should also reciprocate.
Now, let's talk about some of these red flags. How can you know that this person that I am with is actually not giving me 100% of themselves? That this person is actually keeping things from me? What are some of those red flags before you get into hot soup, my brother?
Well, somebody knows somebody that knows somebody who knows somebody.
Okay.
You can use that. No matter how horrible a man is, there's somebody who knows something about him. You see, there's none of us who never had the past. The past can be ugly, can be rosy, and if we don't know anything about the past, we are in danger. But once we could tell something about the past, and we juxtapose that with the present, then we can project the future.
So you should find out who their friends are and who is connected to them and who knows them.
Yes, and people from their village, their school, their neighborhood, and all that. You can find out about that. Don't find out from the people that work with them. They're going to deceive you altogether.
No, it's true. I agree. I agree that you need to know the people's person, but also now it comes in how are they people of integrity? Will they tell you the truth about their kin? Will they tell you the truth about their colleagues? Because in my experience,
those who knew him lied.
Those who knew this person actually lied. They helped him perpetrate the lie. And to date, they do not feel guilty. To them, it was a game.
Sure.
To them, it was a ruse that they were all in.
What was their target? And
Anyway, we'll not discuss that, but it's good. I like the advice. Maybe going forward, we will do better investigations.
Try and find out about them. But yes. but one thing that I've also seen other people do is that they, for example, if this person goes to church, find out which church they go to, and get to know who is who in their church, and call them. I am with so and so. We are planning to. I don't know if it works, Christian, but
well, it's cool. But see, I mentioned earlier that even the church has already bought the deception. But Regina says something that the father,
yes,
the guy's father. So it's like if she had taken the step of talking to the father, look, I got some people that want to get married, and upstairs they were already in the hall. And I told the officer, excuse me for 1 second. That was some 10 years ago. I went downstairs. The supposed father to the groom, I went to meet him because I canceled them. I said, Papa, your son is getting married. He said, I'm very happy. He's getting married. I said, please tell me what happened to his wife. He said, they divorced and they left. Whereas that guy told us that his wife died and one of his kids is overseas. So the father just said, they fought. And I said, go your way. So I now come to wed another wife. So I went upstairs and said, guys, you are making some serious mistakes. Because, yes, it will happen again. And another person just called me, Christian, my wedding was successful. I said, okay, please, I'd like you to meet me in my office. We got there. Who is this person? And this. It was later we got to know that the wife and this guy connived together. That he should come to talk to this lady because she was rich. I was using the guy's lady to pick the wife to the church and the kids and all that. And she eventually called the lady after marriage. I mean certificate. And she told me, hey, I want to go and divorce. I said, you are never married. So what are you divorcing? He said, but my university already. I said, well, go ahead. Deception everywhere for money's sake. Regina, you are a big lady. Now, anybody will want to have you, anybody will want to connive, anybody will want to do what. You are a television
personality.
So it's like, you see, you have gone to the source. Get to the source and find out from the father. Are you the real father? He said, I'm the real father. Now, can you say that I can marry your son? Say, my son. You see, Mama, tell me.
Actually, for me to have actually gotten through the father, it was because he kept on saying, demonizing the father, that the father is not a good person, the father has neglected him, the father no longer loves him. And you know something, I come from a very close-knit family. Today, if I fall sick, all my brothers will be here. And we are many. We talk every day. So I could not fathom, you know, how
he can badmouth his own father.
Yes. And that is what, and to date, you know, parents, where I come from, or rather how I've been brought up, is that you do not joke with anyone's parents. There should be respect. Yes, you're supposed to respect another person's parents the way you respect yours. You know? So for me to have actually dialed that number, I was trembling. So I apologized first for calling. You know? And the man was so, he asked me, are you the one who took my daughter to hospital? The sister who lied to me. I took her. She was pregnant. She was bleeding in a hospital with no means whatsoever. I drove in the middle of the night, picked her, transferred her, took her to hospital at no cost. Because for me, you do what you'd also want someone to do for your family.
Yet she's lying to you.
Yet she was helping this other person lie. And this man on the phone, sounding gruff as he did, he told me, are you so-and-so? Are you the one who took her to hospital? Thank you.
So Reggie, and I'm getting one aspect here, that we ought to be careful with people who badmouth their own parents.
True.
Yes.
For me, that saved me though.
Let's call a spade, because we need to be careful with how our partners handle their own parents.
But it's a technique. What that man did was play number 6 on you. Because that man, the father, would tell you the truth. So you already spoiled him. That actually spelled that he didn't have a good childhood experience. You know, I mentioned earlier, when you're having toxic childhood experience, you can begin to, who trained him? Who brought him up? Maybe he was not brought up properly. Maybe he grew up elsewhere and all that. But the father, the real father, will have given the plain truth about him. So somehow, someone somewhere will see get us certain information we are looking for if we want to go into serious relationship. But sometimes love, affection, and trust. Oh, I love. No, he has told me everything. That person may not have told you everything.
Now, at what point should you? Where is the line? Where is the line between someone who is being protective and someone who's just being a narcissist? Where they ask you so many questions. Where are you? Who are you with? I know you're not there. You are lying. You're telling me you are in KBC, but I can see from my phone you are not at KBC. You are at this place. Where do you draw the line and say, actually, I think this is a red flag?
Actually, it is more than the personality you mentioned. It is actually a kind of mental health disorder.
It is not narcissism.
It's not narcissism. Narcissism is a personality disorder.
Okay.
But it is actually a mental health disorder that person has. Yes, it's like controlling. It's not really controlling. He has something that disturbs him. He has some anxiety, and sometimes you might not be able to know that person has some slight depression in him. And you see that, I don't know, you have been together. Does he sleep well?
We never got to actually that level. We never got to even living together.
Wow.
We only met twice. And
physically?
Yes, only twice.
So this was an online relationship?
This was an online relationship. And after the red flags, that's when I actually sought to find out exactly what is all this. And when I heard from the father what he told me, I actually went and confirmed that this is person who is not fit, who is serving time. You know?
You're very lucky.
Very lucky.
You're very smart. You're very, very smart.
But my problem is even after finding out that this person lied, and they lied, the lie was so intricate with supporting people, doctors, lawyers.
Yes.
You know, he came up with this.
My God.
This support system to push his lie.
Yeah.
But to him, it was so trivial. Well, I mean,
it's no big deal.
Actually, that's a word. I am sorry.
Yeah,
it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I knew at some point you would find out, and that's why this is someone who actually went and faked his own arrest.
What?
Yes, he faked his arrest, and there was trying to get him out. What little did I know that he had been arrested way back.
He has some mental health issue.
But now what we're talking about is that everyone else is receiving calls. My friends are receiving calls. Despite it being over 8 months ago when I discovered the truth, people are receiving calls. I am looking for Regina. She has to follow my demands. If she does not go through with my demands, I will call her boss. I will call her parents. I will get into the office WhatsApp group.
Your boss are hearing now.
Yes, they're hearing. And I'm sure, actually, some of my colleagues.
Did he call them? Did he?
Yes.
He threatened
he
to.
Called them.
Did he?
That's
he
great.
Did. He called them.
He doesn't have
and
other
he
names.
Still does it. Actually, one of my friends who's actually watching says that he received a call yesterday at 2 a.m.
That's fantastic. So after he might have called all these people, after he might have called all the people, who else will he call? Now you're on the air.
So are you saying that not the issue, and that this is now a guest interviewing another guest?
Okay, no problem.
How do you
ask the question.
How do you actually deal with a blackmail? Because when someone says they're making demands, for me, when I hear demands, I hear a threat.
Okay.
How do we maintain sanity for such? Because it's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my wellness as it is, because I'm trying to understand what is his end game. It's months over, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's good to find out what exactly he has meant. What does he have? But you use the word blackmail. It's not white male. It's not blue. It's not grey. It's black. So why will you allow black to affect you? I mean, you are clean. Because you have your self-esteem and you want to maintain your mental health. Whatever he says, somebody somewhere knows that he's lying, and you are okay.
He would go far.
It's like people are hearing now that this guy has some black mail. I mean, why would people? I can carry white mail, you can carry blue. Why would somebody? You know, you cannot see through the black. So you already know that this guy, and you are clean. You don't have anything. Is going to devote. Even if you had, if it happened to me, somebody say he has certain information, I say, if you know that you have that information, send it to me. Send a copy to me. By the time he has sent a copy to me, that I'm weird. I'll just say, hey, now this guy said he has this against me. Let me help you post it. After I posted it, everything handled.
Christian, should she respond to threats? If you do this, if you don't do this, I will do this. Should she respond?
She shouldn't really respond. Sometimes she can just be silent. People have known how foolish that guy is. That's number one. Number two, she needs to protect herself, because that person will have known. For him to have come to her in the first place, she could have had some information about her. You've got to protect yourself. You've got to take police information and order. They can invite him that if anything happens to you, they're going to arrest him. So
she should report it to the police.
Report it to the police. But about the wellness and whatever, please, you shouldn't lose a sleep over that. Because you didn't have anything that is whatever. Come clean. You want to collect some money. He did not collect enough money from you that time. Now you want to use that to collect money. He is guilty because you were in a private relationship at that time. Whatever you shared is mutual. And in fact, is liable. He can be arrested for divulging certain information about you, because as at that time we're in a relationship.
Actually, you've made me think. Actually, maybe he was actually fishing for information through creating argument, so that she could say things and they would be on record, like WhatsApp chats, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe he was actually looking for proof and evidence. But now, what are other ways that people can secure themselves, mentally speaking, also? Because I know there are those who are watching today and they're going through stress. They're wondering, how can I heal?
Well, I know that sometimes when we apply painkiller, it's not killing any pain. It's just killing the nerves. So the truth is, you don't have anything to heal, because this person is on deception, and you know you're on the right. So why would somebody come to begin to disturb you because of what? See your counselor, present the case, how it's affecting you. That's what we do. How is that affecting you? You say, okay, it's affecting me this way. It doesn't allow me to sleep. Then the person can psychoeducate you. But if people are out there and they're saying, I will say this, I will do this to you, please, like I said, report the person to the police before the person comes to harm you. Or just take a cup of coffee, cross your leg like Regina crossed hers, and begin to sip it and put it on Facebook or TikTok. See,
as you watch the comments, yes, and how it's trending,
and I post it on TikTok or on Facebook. Now I'm just enjoying myself. Where some people are stressing themselves out there, he will see it and he will get mad, and it's the one that will have sleepless nights, not you. Don't allow that to affect you in whatever, because you have not done anything wrong.
Reggie.
I've become the subject.
No, you gave us a good case study.
Yeah, it's a very good case study. And I know those who are watching today are learning things. You're learning things to be wise. Reggie, are you healing? How do you feel as we are having this conversation? And Christian is here to help us in that aspect of healing. What are some of those steps that you've managed to take after going through all those things that have helped you to stay sane? To sit the way you're sitting is not easy. You must have done something that helped you to be where you are. Am I right, Christian? Yeah.
So once I discovered the ruse, let's be very honest, it was hurting. It tore through me like a tornado, because this is a person had introduced even to my priest to pray for him, so that his case to go in his favor. I would go to church, they'd talk to, you see, I was being what a good friend is about, because I'm also like, what I believe that there's a God, and he does miracles. I'd included him in my prayers, you know. And when I discovered the truth, because, you know, we can't talk about my whole life here. I'm about to write a book, so I'll write a book soon. Soon enough, I'll write a book. My life is very colorful. But when I discovered the truth, it hurt a good one. Because this is someone who had taken my truth and used it against me. That is what you call a tailor-made weapon for Regina. Not for Ram, not for Christian. It was a tailor-made weapon for me.
They use who you are against you.
They actually use you to hurt you. And that's the worst form of pain. And I cried, Ram. I cried a good one. Because I cried for my hopes and my dreams. Then I also cried because I found myself very naive. Then I reminded myself, during that time when we were having that conversation, I was also going through my own challenges that I had shared with him. But he chose that vulnerable moment to take advantage of who I was. So the first reaction was to cry, beat myself down for not seeing what I should have. But then again, I remembered that I'm not an island. I have a family. So that I told my brothers. We had a good laugh about it. They castigated me, yes. But they still stood by me as they have done before. I opened up to my family, as difficult as it was, I did. And the few friends that I had also, I brought them into the books. And then I chose to go for counseling.
You did well.
I chose to go to counseling. And I tend to think speaking about our challenges helps because someone else is listening.
Yeah.
You may not offer solutions, or the people you're telling may not offer you solutions, but you get it off your chest. And I'd hope today that this conversation, Ram, opens up doors to many other people who may either be going through worse, who may be learning that the person they're with is not who they say they are, to really come out and share it, because when you share, the burden is reduced by half.
Yeah.
Okay.
And counseling is good. It secures your mental state, your wellness. You learn how to live with your past. And a counselor once told me, she said, you need to be kind to yourself, because what you did then, you did what you did with what you had then.
Yeah.
You know?
With the information that you had.
Yes.
What?
Yes. So you
Yeah.
need to be kind to yourself, and don't let mistakes of your past actually define your present or your future. And my prayer would be that the society in itself, not to enable sociopath, narcissists, perpetrate, or rather blackmailers, continue hurting victims. Because if today I shared it with my family and they excommunicated me, they would have helped him. If I shared it with my brothers and they shunned me, they would have helped him. If the colleagues who received those calls did not stand with me, I would have lost colleagues, and we work as a team here. So if organizations, churches, workplaces did not enable such people, then we'll take away their power.
I want us to bring this conversation to a close.
Okay.
And wrap it up. And I want to give you, Christian, time to have a final word in regards to this.
Yeah.
You've had a lot, and I know there's something you want to say. As we wrap it up, what are your final words, and if you have any advice for those who are watching us today?
Yeah, I want to tell the viewers, I mean, Regina has actually done the best. One, don't run away from your support system. Could be your family member, could be your friends, could be the church. And you should accept yourself unconditionally. Accept yourself unconditionally. Whatever anybody says elsewhere. You see, you cannot prevent a bird from flying over your head, but you can prevent it from making a nest on your head.
Okay.
Positive psychology is that there's nothing you can do about your feelings. The feelings will be there, but don't allow your feeling to affect your thoughts, so that it will not affect your actions or behavior. That's exactly what I was saying. I say you don't have anything to lose. Don't allow feelings. Feelings are there. You feel that you are embarrassed. You feel that it's the feeling. The feelings will be there, and feelings belong to you. Don't worry. Don't act on the feeling. Act on the thought and project your future.
All right. Thank you so much, Christian. And Reggie, I would also like to give you just 30 seconds to have a final word to wrap up. And I don't know, you are a big sister to somebody. Maybe also you can talk to them. Anyway, you wrap up.
Well, to the younger version of me,
Yes.
is that actually embrace the inverted pyramid of disclosure. And if they can't or won't, don't. Yes. If they can't share, if they won't share, then don't, because they do not value honesty.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much. That is Regina Manyara and Christian Matthews. And ladies and gentlemen, wrapping it up, quote of the day. This is by Singh, and he says, I have been in love, and it was a great feeling. It's when you are attracted to and feel affection for someone. You want to do things for that person. But only love isn't enough in a relationship. Understanding and communication are very important aspects. Understanding, communication. Communicate, understand. And that is what brings us to the end of this evening conversation right here. My name is Aguko. This is Power Talk.